I genuinely thought you guys were exaggerating when you guys were telling your stories about the little girls in Sephora. They are actually insane.
I am all here for the beef with these Sephora kids.
The 10-year-old little girls spending their Christmas money at Sephora Epidemic is so much bigger than that.
These 10-year-olds are crazy. Like, literally the most feral. I was a camp counselor. The Sephora kids are different than any type of kids.
Put that down.
Hi, hello, ni hao, guten tag, welcome. My name is Swoop and welcome to the Cesspool, the place where everything and everyone is sus, maybe even us. Come on in, the water's fine. Oh, that just tickles me so much. So welcome, and to all of you who know me from my main channel, Swoop, where I do extensive deep dives and documentaries. Hi, it's my face again. This is where we dip into the shallow end of the pool and try to find succinct explanations to trending stories on newly suspicious topics, okay? Everyone's in the cesspool. We also dip into some creepy, dark, mind-bending stories. So if you're ready to get weird, hit subscribe and go ahead and flirt with that like button as we plunge into the cesspool. And speaking of dark and creepy, I posted my very first dark, creepy, twisted, mind-bending story in the last video. So if y'all want to check it out, I'm gonna have it linked below. Please check it out. I had so much fun doing that, and y'all were like, the comments just like are so wild. They were sending me. So I'll have that linked and like pinned in the top comment as well for y'all to check out. It is so much fun, and I'm hoping that we could do some more of those. Let me know if you like them. Also, are you following me on Instagram? We just hit 100,000 followers there. I want to get to 200,000. Yes, a bitch has lofty goals, okay? So make sure to follow me there, and on Twitter, both of those places where I post most often every single day. But Today, I have some grim news for you. We as a society are currently in the middle of an epidemic. Hundreds upon thousands of people have been affected by this epidemic that is sweeping not only America, but the entire world, with video after video focused on what Kiki Chanel has described as the failing of an empire. But this epidemic, thankfully, isn't one that's gonna make you feel under the weather. At least, I mean, you might, mentally, it is wild. But no, this epidemic, as it's called, is swarms upon swarms of 10-year-olds flooding Sephora everywhere, destroying makeup and skincare displays for brands like Rare Beauty and Drunk Elephant. My God, the humanity. The 10-year-olds are taking over our For You pages, and now Sephora? Really? I gotta put 10-year-olds in the cesspool? Is this what's happening?
I just saw a girl on my For You page talking about how Sephora has become the new Claire's. There's a bunch of 10-year-olds running around fiending for Drunk Elephant and like looking for Rare Beauty as if Selena Gomez is in the building. And let me tell you, I have a story for you. These 10-year-olds are crazy.
But worst of all, most of this they're flocking to isn't even kid-friendly in the first place. Okay, we are gonna dive deep into the murky waters of the cesspool, but first, a huge thank you to all of you and to our sponsor, Drift, for supporting this channel and making this possible. You are going to love them. So I don't know about you, but I've really been into fragrances lately, from perfumes to candles. How my home and the spaces I spend the most time in smell really shapes my mood and relaxes me, but there are other spaces that I was completely neglecting, like my car and my closets, which is why Drift is genius. Drift creates air care products for your car and your home, designed to fit seamlessly into your space while bringing you the freshest scents possible. They just so happen to be Scentbird's sister company, so you know they know how to do fragrances, okay? So Drift only uses the good stuff, natural essential and fragrance oils, pure ingredients, and sustainable materials to create your ultimate air freshener. Their ingredients are completely free of harmful chemicals, and on top of that, it actually looks good. I love this so much. Like, I put this in my car and then in my clothing and laundry closet that, like, it gets a little like that laundry smell, and oh my gosh, this has made such a difference. I am never not having one of these in my closet now. I got the scent Ritual, which has notes of earthy sage and warm amber and hints of soft musk. And best of all, you can get them as a subscription. So first you receive a starter kit with the clip and the scent. Trust me, you are going to fall in love with these scents. And then you can get monthly refills to switch them out every every 30 days to keep your space smelling its best. They also have a scent of the month, which features a new limited edition scent, which are inspired by the seasons and memories. The subscription is super flexible. You can change your scent choice, your delivery frequency, or cancel at any time. And I think having a variety each month really helps reset your nose so that you don't get like too used to one fragrance. So if you're ready to fill your car and your home with the most amazing and affordable scents, tap my link below and make sure to use my coupon code SWOOP for 55% off at Drift. It's less than $5 for your first month, and treat yourself, honey. You and your nose deserve it. Okay, let's dive in to the cesspool. Okay, first let's set the scene utilizing the holy grail, the best resource for information and research, TikTok.
I'm in Sephora right now, and I'm gonna count how many 10-year-olds I see. 1, 2, 3. Currently walking past a 10-year-old getting her eyebrows done.
Please, I pinky promise I'll pay you back.
4, 5, 6. There's a whole group of them over here.
This will mean a lot to me.
No, bro, you're not gonna get me. This does not work.
It actually will.
Excuse me, sorry.
Alright.
They literally were sticking their fingers in the lipstick. I'm over this. It's the middle of a Thursday. Why aren't these kids in school?
I think you get the point. As TikTok sees it, there are tens of dozens of hundreds of oodles of thousands of young girls prowling Sephora stores all across the world, all across language barriers, with baskets containing hundreds of dollars of products and raining chaos upon the stores and raising the kind of apocalyptic hellfire and brimstone that leaves messes like this. Bad attitudes, destroyed displays, an unexpected dive into capitalism from the youngest and the most tender of ages, and it has people wondering why. Like, right? Why? Well, the why is quite easy to discern. So think about it like this. Many of these videos went viral this month in January 2024, less than a few weeks after Christmas had ended. And it can be assumed that many of these kids were given like some kind of Christmas money to make it rain in them Sephoras, I guess. And due to the proliferation of kids increasingly being gifted iPads and therefore having access to the internet, which is just, I have questions. I get it. I get why parents give iPads because holy being a parent, I can't even imagine. But also, kids on the internet is like a whole thing, right? But they get targeted, right? They get targeted by ads and influencers pushing these products because, God forbid, they just be left alone to grow up without the pressures of consumerism and vanity. But I digress.
Hi, girls. Welcome to Sephora.
Lady, you got drunk elephant or not?
Oh, it's over there.
Oh my gosh, Izzy, I see it.
A December 2023 report came from the Pew Research Center that finds that nearly 58% of all teens use TikTok every single day. 17% of that number are on it almost constantly. And if you look at many of the most followed beauty influencers on the platform, you'll see names like Alex Earl or Amira Despain, who coincidentally enough have also done paid drunk elephant campaigns. Nothing, get that bag, honey. But if it's not the parasocial of it all, then it's the legitimately social. With that pick-me pressure kicking in as young girls see their friends pick up these palettes and brushes, and now they want a piece of it for themselves. It's just like, how could they possibly feel allowed to exist in middle school without the latest nude eyeshadow palette? Because, I know that I need 27 eyeshadow nude palettes every year. It's a problem. If you look up the Sephora Kids hashtag on TikTok right now, you will find hundreds of videos on the subject with hundreds of millions of views, with people sharing not only examples of the phenomenon, but their own takes on it as well. We all got opinions, right? Whether it's casual customers experiencing this firsthand, or Sephora employees, or even influencers talking about the beast they seem to have had a part in creating. This is all over my For You page today, and probably yours as well. So, let's look at some clips.
I am all here. I am all here for the beef with these Sephora kids. And no, I'm not crying. I've just been very, very sick. Listen, these 10-year-old Madeline McKinsleys, they need to be banned from Sephora. Why are we letting our kids walk around like they're 30 years old? You're 10. You're 10. You don't need any kind of skincare.
And this little girl walks up to me, and her basket
is literally overflowing. She had to have been maybe 9, 10, maybe 11 years old. So I finished scanning all her products and her total came out to almost $900. So she calls her mom over and the mom like looks at me and she smiles and then she looks down and goes, wait, how much is it? And the little girl tells her. The mom literally freaked out. She was like, what? No way you're about to spend $900. The mom is furious and the little girl is just looking at her like, what? Like, yeah, bitch, I'm going to spend $900. Like, I don't know what you're looking at.
Now, judging by all of the videos that I've seen on the topic, most people seem to pretty unanimously agree that this is a problem of some kind, right? How is this not a problem? Somewhere there's a problem, okay? Alert the authority. Don't do that, but you know what I mean. But there is an entire other contingency of people, including moms of makeup-influenced kids who are defending this so-called epidemic. And I thought it might be good to dive into the multiple points of view on the Sephora kids situation, hear some different perspectives, and see what exactly is going on. So on one side of the equation, you have the hundreds of thousands of videos very much not, and I mean not in favor of this trend.
Hey, welcome to Sephora. I just want to let you know that we are having a sale today. You can save 50%. Show me where Drunk Elephant is.
Hey, love, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Did you find everything you were looking for?
Yes.
Good. Okay. Wait.
Is something wrong?
Are you buying something or are you waiting for your parent or?
No. I know how to buy my own products and pick them out. Thank you. I just put everything on the counter. All of my friends in middle school.
How old are you?
I'm 13. I'm spending my money and giving you a paycheck. That's all that should matter.
Honestly, I wouldn't recommend the product that you're showing me because it is catered to mature skin that cannot retain moisture on its own. You seem to have very perfect skin at your young age. No, like I'm literally 10 years old. I literally need this. I'm telling you, my skin barrier is super damaged. Like my skin is literally so pink and so red. Like I need it. Everybody on TikTok says get it and I need it.
Susie Q Ann, I've been looking for you. I'm good. What is all of this on the counter? Yes, I'm
your
her
mom.
mother.
Okay.
She recommended it to me, Mom. She told me
Did
to
you tell my
daughter to buy this
stuff?
What is all this
No.
stuff up here that she's buying? What is this that you're letting her buy? $89
I didn't tell her to
Drunk
buy
Elephant.
this.
What
She's
is this?
13 years old. I don't.
She says you did. Are you calling her a liar? I need to speak to your manager because this is ridiculous.
She is lying.
My daughter
100%. She's a liar.
When I hear these stories, I'm just like, I just think about these kids in the stores and they're like throwing the tantrum. I mean, I can't entirely fault a kid for throwing a tantrum because that's what kids do, right? The brains, they're not fully developed. But at the same time, y'all, you would never catch me talking like that to my mama. She ain't. I'm 10 and I demand my skincare. She would have been like, She would have stacked that right on the thing, grabbed me up, and we would have been straight home. That's the end of that story.
Excuse me, which retinol product do you recommend? Aren't you like 9? FYI, I'm actually turning 10 tomorrow, so basically, where's your mother?
But in each of these clips, we're seeing a collective confusion on why this is even happening in the first place. And to be fair, it sounds pretty jarring. Preteen girls flooding a store that is historically for adults, or at least like teen girls, boys, and theys, to some raises many questions like, where are the parents? Or how the hell did these kids get all this money? Or even like, why do these kids even care about wrinkles? Why do they even know about wrinkles? Okay, it's just like, this has all gotten so bad that full-on news stories have been made about the phenomenon.
It's an inconvenience for some shoppers, while others are concerned that as kids consume more online content, including advertising, they're being influenced to buy products that are just not made for them.
Now, somewhere in the middle, we have people who are concerned over the very fact that Sephora themselves seems to be encouraging this with their own marketing and products.
Sephora is now profiting and further pandering to the idea that tweens all of a sudden need high-end skincare? Buy makeup for kids at Sephora. Buy skincare for kids at Sephora. Kids multivitamin face cream Cool Peach, $54!
There are so many kids, teens, and tweens that are obsessed with your brand, and you are doing nothing to properly educate them and their parents. I went through your Instagram and scrolled. I found one post with information. Put some labeling on your packaging. You got to do better than just one post.
Both of which raise valid points over the ethics of promoting like adult skin makeup products to kids at all, which, to be fair, is an argument as old as advertising itself. I mean, none of this is really new. But then we have skincare experts like Dr. Brooke Jeffy, who explain that kids simply shouldn't be using this kind of product on their skin in the first place. It's bad. Kids, you're doing the bad things to your skin. Stop doing it.
Things we apply to the skin have consequences and can affect how it functions. Kids are storming Sephora to get products to fit in, not because they have any idea how they work or what can happen if things go wrong.
Or dermatologist Shireen Idris, who points out the good in kids taking care of their skin from an early age before diving into the many things wrong with the situation.
Kids at Sephora, from a derm's perspective, I'm 39 years old. I have 2 little ones. The good is, at least they give a shit. The fact that my 6-year-old wears sunscreen, and I kid you not, better than me, kind of makes me envious a little bit of her, because my mom wanted me to burn so I could get some color. But the bad is, whoa. We have our whole lives to be old because they haven't even started aging or living. And the onus is on not just the brands not to market to 10-year-olds in terms of anti-aging and to feed into those fears at 10 years old. The onus is also on the experts to make sure that kids and mothers also, and fathers and parents and whatever you are, know how to talk to their kid about taking care of themselves and not fearing the aging process.
Y'all, listen, I need a little sidebar really quick. I'm not gonna go long on this, but it's really hard for me to look at all of this happening and see this type of thing mainly affecting young girls, right? And it's really hard for me to see this as anything other than some of this byproduct of systemic misogyny, right? I feel like a lot of this discourse around anti-aging is usually targeted at girls and women because, God forbid, we get older. I don't know what it is. No one wants to let us age, and I'm sorry, but if we don't age, that means we're dead, and we don't want to do that. So aging shouldn't be this horrific thing. This is really, Gen Z to a certain degree, but now Gen Alpha is the first real generation to be birthed fully and completely into the most advanced social media and technology that has ever existed in mankind. And so they are just exposed to all of these pressures to not age, to look perfect, to have filtered everything about you. And they're growing up in this, and that's all they know. And those systems are in place because it was a mechanism to try to control women, make them feel like they're put in their place, that their only value is because of their looks. And then once they hit a certain age, their looks go or whatever and they no longer have any value. And it's literally tied to the age of women when they're childbearing and when they're their most fertile. And then really it was just about women have to be attractive because then we're gonna own them so that they give birth to children and raise the societies. But like I said, I'm not gonna go off on a long tangent. Okay, back to the story. This is actually something that has been an ongoing issue between consumers and makeup companies for a while, but especially with the brand Drunk Elephant. On December 8th, 2023, Drunk Elephant posted to their Instagram, quote, "Many of our products are designed for all skin, including kids and tweens. First, I would say stay away from our more potent products that include acids and retinols. Their skin does not need these ingredients quite yet." You see, it's these subtle little things that brands put in the messaging that's hey people, in particular, hey women, okay, just so you know, you're gonna need these products because you're not gonna be good enough, you're not worthy enough, you're not deserving enough. If you age, you get a little bit older, and by age, I mean you turn 20 and you're gonna need the retinols, okay? Otherwise, girl, what are you doing? You don't belong. You know what I mean? It's just the little subtle things, these little subtle pressures. I can't stand it. But let me continue. So from there, they list all of the products they make that are good for kids, such as F-Bomb and Peaky, just to name a few. Now, founder Tiffany Masterson went a step further in a comment to Glamour magazine saying, quote, "We do not recommend children under 13 use acids or retinol." Under 13? So I guess if you're 14, it's fine. The detractors are referring to the products that contain acids, and rightly so. Kids and tweens don't need acids. If you have concerns, we recommend consulting a pediatrician or pediatric dermatologist before introducing new products into your child's routine. End quote. But here's a clip that summarizes maybe a bit more of the core of what the root issue is beyond, misogyny and all.
Because what that has created is a bunch of young children that are using active ingredients like vitamin C, retinol, higher strengths of glycolic or salicylic acid. Instead of allowing these kids to go to Sephora, what the parents should be doing is having their children work with a dermatologist or an esthetician to nail down a skincare routine that is suited for them.
This is essentially one of the main foundations to the issue. Like, yes, I can go on and on about consumerism being shoved down the necks of these kids and how that effectively pushes the tweens out of any space that they feel they can belong. I don't know why we're doing this. Why can't they just be tweens and have safe spaces to go and exist without all of these freaking pressures? But beyond that, again, I could talk about how this is like the first like real main generations growing up in social media in this manner, out it being better monitored. I think it's like also guaranteed to stunt the development of their brains. But I'm not a doctor. That's just my own theory. But realistically, there is a new illiteracy problem that is running rampant in schools because of too much consumption at their very, very young age of social media, especially with TikTok. Those are like seconds long clips that they're just swiping through. It's affecting attention spans. Like, not though. Kids can swipe on TikTok, but they don't know how to read. Like, what the hell? What the hell are grown-ups doing to help guide them? Having access to the internet is supposed to open doors that most people could only dream of and give them access to the broadest array of education and learning. But somehow studies are showing that they're regressing, not progressing, and that is some scary shit. Couple that up with AI, where kids are literally just like demanding that they don't have to do homework because they just have AI do it. And I'm just like, I don't know where this is headed, but I don't think it's going to be good. Actually, leave me your thoughts in the comments about like AI and stuff, because I don't have a very good outlook with it, but I'm curious to know your thoughts. But anyways, I can't even say that this is the kids' fault because again, their brains aren't fully developed. So when you look and see that kids think they know everything, it's just kind of like cute. It's like, yeah, no. You don't. But they do need proper care and guidance. Firstly, ideally from their guardians, if they're blessed enough to have decent ones, to be set up for the best chance of success that doesn't revolve around being petrified of getting older. Yes, kids, we get it. Your skin bounces back from anything, and it annoys any of us over the age of 20 because we too have been conditioned to be terrified of aging. God forbid we dare to live past 30. But to all the tweens out there who can't hear me because you shouldn't be watching this, please enjoy your human skin suit. And please, for the love of all things Pete Davidson, stop worrying about getting older. Trust me, the alternative to not getting older is much worse. Think about it. What this conglomerate of young people don't need are brands spending millions of dollars shilling products at them that are not only useless to them, but destructive, both mentally and physically. Products that make them feel worthless if they don't have them and tank their self-esteem and self-worth before they even hit puberty. Like, seriously, brands, please don't market to these kids until they are an adult and old enough to be properly riddled with anxiety and depression like the rest of us. Fatally. Now, I'm coming to all of you lovely humans on a platform right now filled top to bottom with content that pays a whole lot of lip service to the idea of protecting these youngsters. Aside from creators who identify the real cause of this so-called epidemic, a lot of the discourse randomly focuses on trying to dunk on these kids, which is a choice. It's weird. It's weird to me. And then there's the other criticisms that try to come at people like me, people who are remarking on the absolute fucking absurdity of 10-year-olds ravaging Sephora stores while their parents do whatever the hell they're doing. And these criticisms just make me laugh. Like things like, OMG, you're just jealous that a 10-year-old can afford to spend hundreds of dollars on skincare. To which I say, they're 10 years old. They're 10 years old, unless they are working at some illegal child labor factory in Wisconsin, which should therefore actually concern you. They don't have money. They have their parents' money. I thought that was pretty obvious, but Sarah, is that not obvious? Okay, or Christina, are we just, okay, Jefferson, do you see what okay, whatever. I digress. The protection of the developing souls and mental health of these youngins does start with the parents. And honestly, maybe at this point it ends there because let's be real, none of the massive corporations like Drunk Elephant actually give a shit about the well-being of the post-toddler society. They made one crappy post on Instagram and went on shilling their products. Like, they care about the bottom line. That's what corporations do. And if easily influenced prepubescent buckaroos, I just wanted to say the word buckaroos, if these young buckaroos are the ones driving the new dump truck of sales, then do we really think Drunk Elephant is going to stop them? No. And I hate to say it, but that goes for Sephora too. Like, I know a lot of attention right now is on Sephora employees who are innocent bystanders to this makeup Armageddon, but Sephora is a massive corporation too, and I don't see them taking a stance on parental education or requiring you be a certain age to purchase something kids saw on TikTok and slather retinol all over their skin and potentially harming it before they can even drive. Sephora could say something, but they won't, because, say it with me, SALES. Sales. Which leads me to the parents themselves. Now, how do they feel about this? USA Today spoke to a few with a mother of four named Janet Howard, saying that, quote, her 6-year-old likes to watch makeup tutorials on TikTok and gravitates towards colorful products in the store, thinking they're for kids. This week, her daughter walked downstairs with gold eyeshadow and silver lips, which Howard made her take off before leaving the house. That's the nature of the beast right there, and something I'll get into in depth in a bit. The bright colors make kids want the shiny, bright things. And when you have TikTok influencers showing these wide swaths of colors and how these colors look on your face, you know, think about an impressionable kid being told this is good, actually put this on your face. And even beyond that, kids now, like super young kids know when they look at an influencer and they see like their follower account, kids are now being told that your follower account is your value and your worth. It's, to me, I've always referred to it as social currency, and it's your social currency that you're exchanging to get anything in life and your value, which is so sad in a lot of ways. But that's what is being shoved in their faces all the time. And but it's just like, I still pause because I'm just like, all of that aside, this is still a 6-year-old on TikTok, an app that has a minimum age of 13. But okay, anyways. And the thing is, I'm not covering this story to say that kids shouldn't be able to have innocent fun and experiment with makeup and play around. Like, I think that's kind of a typical part of growing up for a lot of us and can be a lighthearted way to, you know, let a young buck express themselves, can be healthy and fun. But this form of expression is coming at a price that it didn't used to. You know, back in the day, for all of us old people, and by old, obviously, I mean anyone over the age of like 15, back in the day, like when we were like playing with makeup, we weren't like necessarily living and breathing every waking moment on TikTok and scrolling social media, where every example of someone in makeup is positioned under the guise of how to look younger, how to get a following, how to be on trend, all of that stuff. No, it was just, I mean, yeah, there was like videos and content, but it was mostly, you know, just making a mess with some smeary colors on our faces because it was fun. I don't think that these kids are having actual fun anymore. And that makes me really, really sad if they're like putting on the makeup and trying to create a look to get followers. At that age, it doesn't sound like a lot of fun. Now, Janet told USA Today that she has mixed emotions about this. Quote, I feel like this younger generation, they learn faster, they get information faster, and it allows them to be little experts in big spaces. I don't want to limit my kids' creativity, but there is a very fine line between maturing them before their time and investing in their interest. Now, I also have mixed emotions about this take because I admire a mom who wants kids to be creative. That's very important. But she also, again, has her 6-year-old watching makeup tutorials on TikTok and is only potentially now, while speaking to reporters, concerned that it might be a problem. Now, of course, I don't know. I'm not in that household. I'm not passing any judgments. So there's literally no disrespect to Genji, but this is an observation that seems to be a common issue with millennial parents. We know that information travels faster than it ever has, but it can also be restricted until your child is fully old enough to understand exactly what they're watching. Yes, it means more work for the parents monitoring what their kids are looking at. And yes, I understand that it is impossible to fully monitor kids. Kids be out there just conniving, okay? They just be sneaking into shit. I did it too. So like, you know, no shade. But Yeah, no perfect solution, right? Now, other than this, we also have videos like these that essentially wrap the backlash to the criticism into let girls be girls. Elena Cavender at Mashable says that whether you're the Sephora girls or defending this as girlies being girlies, I think some people are missing the point. She quotes Jessica DeFino, a beauty writer, by saying, quote, "The idea of let girls be girls is doing a disservice to girls, women, and all people because saying something isn't worthy of critique or isn't worthy of anger because it's attached to girl behavior is not enough. Girls participate in very worrying trends because that's what our culture has created for them. Even if the girls want to do it, if it's not in their best interest, we have a responsibility as adults to examine that and try to create a better world for them to exist in." And I very much vibe with that quote. And again, it kind of comes back to what I was saying earlier about rampant misogyny, okay? Misogyny has entered the chat with a side of toxic and systemic teachings that girls aren't enough simply as they are. Since the dawn of time, we've been telling girls this. She then follows this up by citing a 2023 Pew Research Center survey that found nearly half of all teens have an almost constant use of social media, which rely on algorithms that exploit insecurities. Yeah. And finally, she also points out a 2022 survey that shows kids aged 8 to 18 were most anxious about the condition of their skin as opposed to their weight, which, like, yay, we got them to finally not be so worried about the size of their bodies. But when you look at all of the information available, you quickly find that influencers, social media, and peer pressure all play a very complicated, massive part at essentially blurring the boundaries between what a kid should do and what an adult should do. Think about it another way. Like, it's really easy to advertise to kids, especially if what you're marketing has bright, vibrant colors and cute character graphics, as many of these brands do. As Statista puts it, quote, "From bright colors and unusual designs to characters known from popular kids shows and catchy tunes, advertising to children attracted $1.6 billion US in spending in the United States in 2022. 2/3 of the money was invested in digital media, which follows children's preferences. In early 2023, YouTube, video on demand, and social media topped the ranking of channels with the highest reach, both among youngsters under 12 and among teenagers. YouTube has gained such a popularity that the media have dubbed it a digital babysitter, and market research shows that under 18s make roughly 10% of its US audience. So let's take it back to ancient times, okay, where Joe Camel was a thing. Okay, I did a little research, little guy in a camel was the whole thing. Imagine hiring a babysitter for your kids, and that babysitter spends their entire time telling your kids about how cool it is to smoke cigarettes. Hashtag please don't smoke cigarettes, kids, don't do it. But what if they were saying, like, look at how cool Joe Camel is. He's in a suit. He's a spy. Damn, I want a cigarette now. But imagine if instead of a cigarette hanging from the lips, he had some rare beauty blush and a Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow on. This smooth character would sure as hell inspire a lot to buy a palette. Just look at the colors and then look at these. Now, as Jessica DeFino puts it for Glamour though, quote, "This behavior is nothing new, but the times that we're living in are alarming. We've created this world that is more obsessed with external beauty than ever before. The standard of beauty is more inhuman than ever before. We're looking to emulate AI-generated features from filters and Photoshop and Facetune and artificial intelligence. Just because something feels fun in the moment is not a reason to not look deeper or critique it. We have to ask, why is this fun for girls? Why is the manipulation of the body in service to an inhuman beauty ideal fun for girls? Is that fun momentary or even real? Is that fun long-lasting?" And I think those are all very important questions. And listen, like, we all use filters, right? I've used filters, like, I get it. But I'm an adult and I understand what's going on. Does it have an impact on mental health even for adults? Of course it can. But this is not something that I think kids are equipped to navigate, all of these pressures, and they're using filters. And it's like, you know, it's kind of scary. At the end of the day, the truth is that all of this is the responsibility of parents to navigate. I don't have kids, so I don't have firsthand experience with telling a kid no. But if your kid wants to experiment with skincare products, you need to be transparent with your kids to figure out not only what they want out of their routine, but why they want to do it. Ask them why it's important where they saw it, and maybe even go through this journey with them if possible. And honestly, I think like if you don't like what you find, like say buying $70 palettes is too damn out of the budget, just say no, or at the very least try to find some kind of compromise. This is a legitimate way to help kids start to understand the importance of not only their own skincare and what is and isn't good right now, and honestly, sunscreen. That's really the only thing they need to be looking at. I mean, in a lot of situations, but also the importance of money. I'm a huge advocate for taking opportunities to teach those younger about money. I'm just like, what if there's a way to just like hold $70 out and tell them they could spend this now on something that will destroy their skin? Excuse me, I mean that they don't need. Or they could double their money by doing something with it, investing or whatever it is, put it in a high yield savings account and like explain to them what that, they're gonna be so bored of this, but it is so important. I wish someone had taught me all of this stuff when I was young. And then they could afford all the Botox their heart desires 10 years from now. I mean, obviously they're gonna wanna take the $70 now, okay? Financial illiteracy is a disaster in this country, but hey, I'm trying, you know, effort was made. But even when it comes to the horror stories of kids running freely in these stores, I think it's still the responsibility of parents doing the right thing and having the tough conversations. But also Sephora, the corporations, they could certainly be doing a lot better. But until then, the best thing the rest of us, the curious onlookers, can do is understand there's actually nothing new here. Young girls, boys, and theys have always pivoted to interest in fashion and makeup and jewelry early on, you know, back in the day with magazines or TV hosts, and even our favorite singers, pop stars, selling their favorite products. Although the rise in social media marketing towards kids is alarming and something warranting a deep dive, it doesn't have to be feared as an epidemic. If anything, it's a chance to help kids better understand the things they're getting into, and if these aren't conversations we're willing to have with our kids before letting them buy this shit, well then maybe they shouldn't be buying this crap in the first place. Education is always the solution in pretty much every problem, at least that's what I believe. So hopefully people start jumping on that train and off the everything is wrong with you, spend a ton of money and fix it train, okay? There's really not anything wrong with you. Like at any age, you are fine, you are good. The fact that you are walking this earth and you have survived all the things you've been through tells me that you're perfect. Period. So for now, I'm gonna take the kids out of the cesspool. They don't really know better. They just need more guidance. And instead, I'm gonna place all of these brands and their refusal to stop pushing all these products to kids in the cesspool. So congratulations, brands, corporations, you're in the cesspool, well deserved. All right, everyone, it's time. Grab a towel, dry off. That's what I got. I have a brand new full deep dive Swoop documentary out on my main channel, Swoop. It is linked below. Make sure you check it out and subscribe to my main channel. Also, follow me on Instagram and TikTok, linked below. That's where I post most often. I also announce opportunities to have your thoughts featured in my docs. I'm doing that in several upcoming docs, and y'all will be featured. So please do follow me for that. Thanks for coming for a swim. Make sure to subscribe to this new channel. Also, huge thank you to our sponsor for supporting this channel, and of course to all of you. Huge thank you to Drift for partnering with me on this video. Be sure to check my link out below. It really helps support the channel, and use my coupon code SWOOP for 55% off at Drift. It's less than $5 for your first month, and treat yourself, honey. You deserve it. Have a good day out there. Stay weird, and I will see you next time in the cesspool. Swoop!